Yes, Mayor. A quorum is present for City Council, Successor Agency, Housing Authority, Parking Authority, and Joint Powers Authority.
We're going to go to public comment. Any persons wishing to address the city council, successor agency, parking authority, housing authority, JPA on any item on the agenda may do so at this time. Please.
That's number 4. Let me pull that out. Let's see. I don't know what's consent calendar. Let's see. Approve amendment number 1, agreement number 7. Here's the problem with this. You guys are budgeting out these projects. And it seemed like a fraudulent process where these builders are coming in, they're submitting bids, and they go over what their original submitted bid. And you can't even track the city finances because you guys pass a bill, then you guys play with the bill the budget as soon as you do that. So you have to pay it. Then there was a legal payment for $200. Payment for outstanding legal invoice for the law firm of Carwell and Day CPC for legal services. I don't understand why $200 has to go through this process. But there's a lot of shenanigans going on in this council, in this city administration. Now, I can't deviate about the employee exchanging alcohol yesterday in front of City Hall, but we'll go to that later. So with that being said, SPH1, I know we're not having a public hearing, but this process is a sham. Steve Ballmer and the community benefits package, he should not be benefiting from that, nor he should be leveraging $100 million. I am tired of you giving this city away just for a photo opportunity. When we come back from this public hearing, that we understand what Steve Ballmer is getting for $100 million. And my God, why did I get on the internet and find out that Stan Crockett got hotels across the street from SoFi? What are you doing? What is not for sale? By the time y'all look up, they're gonna own this fucking, they gonna own
Okay,
this.
you're done. You're done. Next speaker. Yes, sir.
These meetings could be scheduled in the evening so more people
Sir,
can.
sir, you'll have to do that at the end of the meeting. Right now, this is for something on the agenda. Okay, there's 1 minute at the end that you can make that request. All right. Are there any other speakers? With that, we'll close public comment. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move allow payment.
Second.
Madam City Clerk,
City Council, Successor Agency, and Housing Authority members Gray,
Abstain.
no, this is regarding the warrant register.
Oh, aye to that.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye. Item 2.
Approval of the minutes of the meetings held on March 14th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Gray,
I do abstain for that.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. Consent calendar items 3 through 5.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Gray,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. SPH 1.
Staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to receive public input on the priority community development, housing, and non-housing needs of low and moderate income residents for the development of the 2023 through 2024 annual action plan.
Set the public hearing for June 6, 2023 at 2 p.m. and set the public hearing for July 25th, 2023 at 2 p.m. to recommend adoption of the draft 2023-2024 annual action plan and set the public hearing for December 12th, 2023 at 2 p.m. to receive public comments and recommend adoption of the draft fiscal year 2022 to 2023 consolidation annual performance evaluation report, the CAPER. Now, A1.
Thank you, Mayor. We had a closed session regarding the workers' compensation claim of Ivan Chapman
As to that, there is a request for settlement authority on that matter.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Gray,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye, A2.
Thank you, Mayor. There's no other reports from the city attorney's office.
Thank you. CM1.
Thank you, Mayor. There are no oral reports from the city manager's office.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. CC1.
No oral reports for today, Mayor.
I'm going to have you back. Promise you that. Promise you that. CC2.
Staff report recommending that the mayor and council members authorize payment of an invoice submitted by Club ICE Rental for providing DJ services for the Women Rock Empowerment Summit 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Gray,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye, CC3.
Staff report recommending that the mayor and council members authorize payment of an invoice submitted by Lavender Blue Incorporated, DBA Lavender Blue Restaurant Lounge, for providing catering services for the Women Rock Empowerment Summit 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Gray,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye, CC4.
Staff report recommending that the mayor and council members authorize payment of an invoice submitted by Luvania Thompson for providing photography services for the Women Rock Empowerment Summit 2023.
Move approval.
Second. Madam City Clerk.
Council members Gray,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye, CC5.
Staff report recommending that the mayor and council members authorize payment of invoices submitted by Mogul Behavior for services provided for the Women Rock Empowerment Summit 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Gray,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye, the successor agencies in session, CSA2.
Approval of the minutes of the meetings held on March 14th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Successor agency members Gray,
Abstain.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Chairman Butts.
Aye. Adjourn the successor agent, housing authorities in session, H2.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on March 14th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Housing Authority members Gray,
Abstain.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Chairman Butts.
Aye. Adjourn the housing authority, parking authorities in session, P1.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on March 14th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Parking Authority members Gray,
Abstain.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Chairman Butts.
Aye. The JP, will adjourn the parking authority, the JP is in session, JPA 1.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on March 14th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Joint Powers Authority members Gray,
Abstain.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Chairman Butts.
Aye. Adjourn the JPA. There are no appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Public comment. In persons wishing to address the council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered on the agenda may do so at this time. Speakers.
It's time for this council to be a strong council. It is time to hold the mayor accountable. He cannot have these conniptions every week where he does not understand that there are 5 votes on this council. Because Gloria Gray pulls something, he can't have a lifetime drama hissy fit. It's time for him to grow up or get out. Because this can't happen for another, 3.5 years. Y'all want to do this for 3.5 years? Here flipping out like a Kardashian? And please don't come up here, young lady, because you were exchanging alcohol in front of City Hall yesterday.
Okay, you, Mr.
So I have a right.
Mr. McCoy, you're done.
How am I done?
You're done.
What?
You don't get to personalize.
I do. She's out there exchanging
Eject him from the room.
Cinderella one week, umbrella, Joanna man. Come on, bro. Don't touch me, bro. First, I have the right of freedom of speech, you clown.
Ms. Eller.
Okay. Good afternoon, council and city members. First, I want to introduce Adriana. Adriana, will you stand up, please? Adriana is the new homeless coordinator with St. Margaret's, and she will be assisting me throughout the city and with housing and homeless and outreach, homeless and outreach. And secondly, sorry, oops. Okay. Secondly, I wanted to close in honor of Malia. Malia is a young lady that we helped in the park. She and her boyfriend were at Rogers Park for like 2 or 3 years. Malia got pregnant in the park, and I literally helped and her babies. Come to find out, Malia died last year. She died of a drug overdose and mental illness at Days Inn Hotel off of Manchester, November 25th, I guess 26th, day after Thanksgiving. And it's really touching because you just never know what the kids are going through. And this is her, she has 3 children. So those kids are without a mother and a father right now. The city, we helped, we took care of those kids, you guys don't know, but gift cards was raised for them. I took her to the hospital to deliver her kids, put her in a hotel, put her in a, and now she's gone. So Malia McLean, it's very, it hurts.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
With that, we'll close public comment. Council comments, Councilwoman Gray, District 1.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. First, I'd like to ask this council to adjourn in the memory of Lacey Alexander, who was a longtime employee of the Inglewood Unified School District. I attended along with the mayor his celebration of life services, I believe a couple of weeks ago. And so I'd like to ask this council to adjourn in his memory. He was a principal at a number of schools, certainly the adult school director there, I believe, or principal, and he was very impactful with bringing programs to this community for those who attended the adult school. Second, I want to remind everyone that June 1st will be the first town hall meeting that I will have as councilwoman, and I'm looking forward to seeing the residents of D1 there. I will be inviting a number of department heads to talk about what their responsibility is here at the city and to exchange information and to engage the community in any concerns that they have. And so June 1 is the meeting date. 5:30 is the time, 5:30 to 8. It will be at Inglewood Senior Citizen Center here in Inglewood, obviously. So I invite all of you to please come out. I'm looking forward to meeting and talking with all of you. Thirdly, I want to remind everyone also that the ICOP Center is open again. Gwen Goodman is the staff person there, so I encourage you to be a part of whatever you need there at the center. A couple of events that I did go to was the LA Dodgers Foundation, along with the City of Inglewood, partners to create Dream Fields, is what they're called. It really is to create a safe environment and a very attractive field for our young people to play softball and baseball here at Vincent Park. I know they did the same at Darby Park, and so they did 2 Dream Fields this past week. And so I was there to commemorate that event. And I want to thank LA Dodgers Foundation and everyone involved, staff and everyone. Sabrina Barnes, I think was their staff person here who did that. So thank you very much. The other thing, I hosted a meeting at the Osage Villas there for the residents. I was aware of some concerns there, and as councilwoman, I went back and treated them to lunch and listened to some of their concerns. And a follow-up meeting will happen with the owner and the operator, manager, so forth there to engage in a conversation with how we can address and come to some resolutions of some of the concerns there. I do want to address a couple of items, if I would, Mr. Mayor. I think my time is still there.
Almost up.
Can you give me one more minute, please? Well, there was one person, I think, that started to talk about evening meetings, and that is something that I heard when I was campaigning, and certainly something that I think I support, and I will be having discussions with the council to see what that means moving forward. Also, someone mentioned some of the items on the agenda item. One of the items had to do with a $200 payment to a company, and just want to remind you that those were services that were already rendered, and so that's where the $200 come from. The public hearing, the plan for that, I'm concerned about making sure that community outreach is a part of that. I know some of the public hearings have been, if not most of them, at 2 o'clock. I do believe that everyone in the district, my district certainly, as well as this city, should have an opportunity. And there are people who do work, and I do believe that outreach, I do believe that the opportunity for everyone to participate in that public hearing, because it's a very important subject. And I would want to make sure that there's outreach and during that, as we move forward with the schedule. I don't know if there's a survey that has been done. I would like to find out if there's a survey to this community in terms of making sure their input is there, as well as any verbal input on the day of the public hearing. And so I hope staff hears that, and maybe will provide some kind of input to me to make sure that the public is actually reached out to make sure they have that kind of engagement with this public hearing. So thank you.
Councilman Padilla, District 2.
Thank you, Mayor. So a couple of quick things here. First off, I want to thank everybody that came out from the community this past Saturday morning for the fentanyl seminar, which we had over at Rogers Park. So I want to thank the Asian American Drug Awareness Prevention organization for helping put that together. I want to thank our Inglewood Police Department for being a part of that as well. American Vets, AMVETS, and also the LA County Health Department for helping sponsor this very important event. I want to thank Mayor Butts for coming out to show his support. Some of the stories that we heard, not only from the presenters, but people that had attended, were very touching when you talk about folks that have lost loved ones because of fentanyl and other drugs. So, I just want to thank everybody that came out to show their support. On Saturday, we also had a chance, and I know Councilmember Morales is going to touch on it, to go to a grand opening of the churro factory. I like my churros, and so we had a great time over there. And so I want to thank everybody for coming out to support the opening of that business over at Prairie and Hardy. It's right there on the southwest corner. So if you get a chance, you're looking for a good churro, the churro factory.
Churro joint.
Or the joint, I'm sorry, the churro joint. But factory is just as good.
Yeah, but they might look it up in 411.
There you go. Well, thank you
Churro
for the
joint.
correction. So it is the joint. And so I want to thank everybody that came out to support another business opening up in Inglewood. I also want to invite everybody to our firefighter appreciation pancake breakfast and raffle that I'm hosting at our District 2 fire station, Station 172 on Centinela. So that's going to be on Saturday, again, June the 10th, from 9 to 11:30. Come on out, get to meet our firefighters out there. We'll have different community organizations that will have table and booths set up, as well as our Inglewood Police Department. So please come out again. Save the date, Saturday, June the 10th. I want to touch a little bit on what the councilwoman brought up about the public hearing. So when we set these public hearings, it's always, to make sure that we're doing something transparent, like we do everything else here in the city of Inglewood. So it's a great opportunity for folks to come to our meetings to let us know their insight and their thoughts and concerns. But our staff also does community outreach. They'll do meetings at different locations throughout the city of Inglewood. They'll send out information on some of our water bills that go out to all the residents. So there's a lot of outreach that's done because it's important that we get people's feedback and insight. And we always encourage folks to call any of us, if you live in our district, to call us and let us know if you ever have any issues or concerns. I had a great opportunity this afternoon. Can I get 1 minute, Mayor?
1 minute.
Thank you, sir. I had a great opportunity to meet with Ms. Kraft. You know, we met over at North Park, and she brought up some concerns. So I appreciate the fact that she took time out of her busy day to meet with me to share her concerns. That's what we do up here. We meet with our residents to listen to them, to make sure that we have their insight. That being said, this is National Police Week. So I want to thank our Inglewood Police Department, our Inglewood police officers, the men and women on the police department to risk it all every single day to keep our community safe. And so when you get a chance and you're driving around anywhere and you see our police officers, not only during National Police Week, but always, thank them for keeping our community safe. And I want to thank our Sergeant at Arms for being here today and for all he does for the city of Inglewood. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, and thank you for keeping within that minute. Councilwoman Dion Falk, District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to commend our Inglewood Police Department in honor of National Police Week. First of all, my boys love police officers. Every time they see them, they get the little sticker, their badge, and so they always make them feel so warm and welcome. And I think that it's so important to bridge that gap between our police officers and our community because we have had challenges in the past. So I hope that everybody extends a warm smile to our officers this week, especially. I want to just make sure I remind District 4 residents that we will be having the District 4 Community Town Hall. It's going to take place on May 31st, and it will be at Hollywood Park Casino. It will be a great opportunity to get your questions answered. I do get a lot of questions from our residents, and so I want to take the time to answer those questions and provide content. One of the main concerns within District 4 is the school closing. And so I'm going to have our IUSD county administrator come, and he's going to provide an update on the transition from regarding the school closure. So I'm hoping that we get our residents there that are specifically have questions about that. So, and that is pretty much it. I don't have that much today, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, that's why we make it 3 minutes. Thank you very much. Councilman Morales, District 3.
Thank you. And I too will start with the Police Week. I wasn't even aware it was Police Week, but thank you, Councilman Padilla, for pointing that out. What I do have on my notes is to point out the fact that I actually was going to give a special shout out to Lieutenant Figueroa, who we had to reach out to him twice last week. One for an incident with some residents, and another one for an incident with some homeless folks making some people feel unsafe. Extremely responsive officer. We're so lucky to have a small department for a city our size, that we get to know the folks and that the community gets to know them. I can't tell you how fortunate we are for that. We had a long conversation too, just coincidentally, about police officers in the back and you know what they do for our community. But the only thing you need to know is when you're desperate for some help, that's who you call.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the most important thing. Over the weekend, some of the other events, the Dodgers Field at Ed Vincent Park was a great event. The bottom line is that, you know, whenever folks take a look at our city, you know, they used to come because we were in such great need. Now they come because they've realized kind of who we are. We, of course, still need whatever they can give us, but the truth of the matter is that we are just the greatest balance of diversity and talent here in the city of Inglewood. One of the things they did was redo the fields. What I was going to point out is if you grew up here, you know that gopher holes were just the part of the field. They were just part of what you got used to going around them as a kid. And what they did was they put fencing inside the ground about 4 feet around the field. my understanding, to protect from the gophers. So that to me was amazing. It was a really detailed to the attention that we specifically needed here in Inglewood. So I wanted to point that out. The churro joint, like Councilman Padilla said, this is a family who's been in Inglewood for 47 years. And one of the daughters came out and opened a small business with her husband, Norma and Cosme, and they're trying their best. They're trying their best here in Inglewood across the street. They survived because they tried to open right before COVID. They couldn't do it. It was closed. They paid an extreme amount of rent before they could finally open. And the relief that we actually gave them with COVID and with rent allowed them to keep their dream alive. Then they went through every obstacle and finally opened their small business. And I hope that people go out there and really, show some support. Excellent churros. Excellent churros. The other thing is that, I did also want to point out the hearings that were pointed out for the Section 8. We used to get a bigger turnout when folks were giving it, when we were giving it, I'm so sorry, I'm not used to asking for an extra minute. But I wanted to point out because, Councilman Padilla pointed out, this is an extremely open process, and we have an abundance of opportunities for folks to go out and say what they think. We do. There's just no turnout because folks don't see it as something that impacts them, but it truly does. We used to get a bigger turnout when the city gave some funds to nonprofits, and that one, the nonprofits would show up all the time. But since we cut that back, when the CDBG funds got cut back, and we started using it for things that we needed, the attendance dwindled, but it shouldn't. So I do want to reinforce the fact that we do have an extremely transparent process, as was mentioned, and a lot of opportunities for attendance and public speaking. So that was it, Mayor. I just wanted to point those out. Thank you.
So I want to tell you, like, for me, it's always Police Week. I spent 37 years in 3 different police departments, and I've just met so many great people in the different PDs. On Thursday, Raul Flores is going to make captain in the city of Santa Monica, and Jerry Leyva, who was a civilian when I started in Santa Monica, is going to make lieutenant. And so I'm going to go there on Thursday morning and speak. They asked that I come and speak. So, Sarge, I want to tell you that we really appreciate you. Although I'm jealous, we didn't have OT jobs like coming to council and being sergeant at arms when I was in the business.
They had other OT jobs.
We had plenty of OT jobs, but not this one. So
no, man, leave them alone.
I'm not
man.
not hating. So I want to thank you. I think it was really great that we were able to celebrate the 2 dream fields at Edward Vincent Park, and more importantly, we're able to celebrate all the different improvements that are being made to our parks. And I want to thank Sabrina Barnes. She's been a good shepherd for all that we've done and where we've come from. If you look at the kids, diverse, beautiful children, and the beautiful thing about what's happening in our parks in particular is that what we're saying to the kids is that you are as good as anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important as you grow up to know that you're as good as anybody, and that really, really touched me. I have one more thing I wanted to talk about. Well, we're going to close in the name of Malia McLean and Lacey Alexander, and with that, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.